Now, the National Prosecuting Authority has been slow off the mark to bring those implicated in corruption to book. This despite the creation of the Investigative Directorate headed up by Hermione Cronje. So what's causing the lack of movement? To tell us more, I'm joined by the National Prosecuting Authority spokesman, Sipho Ngwema. Mr. Ngwema, thank you. Always a pleasure to speak with you. Just quickly, what exactly is the delay in terms of the NPA bringing charges against key individuals that have been implicated in various commissions of inquiry as well as parliamentary processes in corruption? What exactly is the hold-up, sir?
Thanks, Karima. I lost you a bit there, but I think I got the tail end of your question. But you must remember, very many of the investigations that we are dealing with are very huge and complex investigations. And some of them, they are transnational and have to deal with a number of jurisdictions and countries that should be able to assist. Of course, as you know, in general, the NPA's mandate is to prosecute. But of course, that instrument of investigation was brought back about a year ago when the investigating directorate was appointed, and therefore we had to capacitate it. I think it was mentioned earlier in terms of the flight of skills in the law enforcement, but people are coming back. We are working on it, and a lot of progress is being made. But I must also mention the fact that in some cases it's painfully slow. We are ourselves impatient. However, there are things that unfortunately there's very little we can do about in terms of forensic investigations, being ready in terms of certain countries being able to supply us with the kind of information and evidence that we are looking for.
Okay, so Sipho, the explanation that you've given, the head of the NPA, Shamila Batoy, gave me, and that was a good few months ago. So it's wearing a little thin, and it's difficult to get the South African public to remain patient with you. I'm going to take you through a list of high priority cases that the IPID presented. This is from 2019. It is a case against General Ntlhemeza, Bernie Ntlhemeza, who headed up the Hawks, and General Munopi. It says the investigations into the allegations that General Ntlhemeza and Munopi interfered and attempted to stop an investigation into state capture and corruption. It's alleged that General Ntlhemeza and his accomplice drafted a statement and tried to get former Deputy Finance Minister Mcebisi Jonas to sign a statement to close the state capture investigations. I've got the case number here. The status of this in 2019, sir, was further investigation, case still under investigation. The case was resubmitted to the NDPP for a decision. The independent prosecutions have been allocated the case, and we are awaiting decisions. And in the progress report, it says further statements of the Deputy Finance Minister, former Deputy Finance Minister Mcebisi Jonas. One suspect was reported sick. So just on this one instance where the head of the Hawks tried to interfere and circumvent an investigation into state capture, where is the independent directorate in relation to this case, sir?
And I think in terms of what you have just said, you said a matter was brought to us and therefore it was sent back for further investigation. And also you must remember, these matters are still being canvassed before the Zondo Commission, and some of the people we have mentioned are still giving evidence. The evidence is still being scrutinized at the Zondo Commission.
But sir, let me interrupt you. What has the Zondo Commission to do with your criminal investigation? Nothing that happens at the Zondo Commission of Inquiry prevents you from building your case. This case has been brought. It has a case number. Why do you tie yourself to what is happening at the Zondo Commission of Inquiry?
You must remember there's evidence that is being led there that is relevant to the investigation that is taking place. And when the dockets are sent to the offices of prosecutors, there is more information that is needed. In order for you to take a case, and you need to make sure that there's sufficient evidence. And therefore, there are certain questions that may arise as the processes are proceeding. And you must remember, you cannot rule out what is happening at the zone because it is relevant to your case. And some of the witnesses that you need to make sure that they are credible. You need to make sure that they can stand the test in terms of criminal proceedings. And
Mr. Ngwema, it has been said that the problem with the NPA is that it wants a perfect case and that it wants to take cases only that it can win. Now, justice must also be seen to be done. A court is necessarily an adversarial place. You still have to make your case. What do you say to the detractors who say that the NPA is slow because it's waiting for perfect cases, and in the wait, you are actually undermining the confidence that people should have in our criminal justice system?
I think what would kill the people's confidence more is when we take half-baked cases to court and we lose them. And when we ask questions, it's because at face value, we can see that there are certain hurdles we are not going to be able to go through. And therefore, if those questions are not answered, we don't go to court to prove that a person is innocent and so on. We go to court because we can see that allegations can be substantiated and we can be able to win that case. And therefore, we can only take a case through a particular quality control process. And if cases don't meet that quality control, the same confidence that you're talking about, people are going to accuse us of losing cases. They won't have confidence in us. We have been put in this position to make sure that, one, we take cases to court, but we take cases to court that we are convinced that a crime has been committed, and when we present that case before a presiding officer, we are going to win that case. So we don't go there to take chances. We go there because we are certain that a crime has been committed, there's credible evidence, and there are credible witnesses. And therefore, this is why we turn back certain documents, because we require further information and further evidence.
All right, that is where we will leave it. That's the National Prosecuting Authority spokesperson, Mr. Sipho Ngwema. I did ask Shamila Batoyi to come on the program. She was unavailable. Well, you've had your fix for the week. See you again next Sunday. Thank you so much for watching.